you have both arms, so we're already ahead of where we could have been.
Hello, everyone. We're here today with Andy Frankenberger.
Driving, passing cars. Hey, guys.
No, don't look at the camera.
No, I'm merging. That's
he wants to talk about poker now.
Yeah, let's talk poker.
We were talking about table selection in tournaments.
Very important.
Whenever you play a tournament, you get to pick who you play with. Believe it or not. If you want to play with the bad players...
With the hands. Oh, it's tough because you have to use it.
Yeah.
You can either... This is what Jonathan did. He said, you can either play with bad players or good players. You choose.
And it's true. When the satellite players are registering for the tournament, go by and then. If you want to have a tough table, sign up late.
The choice is yours.
The choice really is yours. What else do you want to talk about pertaining to the main event? Oh, the idea that you can show up to your table.
Continue straight.
And not play.
Yeah.
Explain this rule to us.
It's not something I'm really... I don't know.
You don't like it. You think
I've
it's
never done it.
stupid.
We were just talking about the fact that one time players should be unnamed or players should be unnamed. Someone showed up in my day one tournament and proceeded to unregister. Later that same day, I see the dude walking through the floor. I'm like, he's got himself a ticket, and he went to a different table. I was a little surprised by that. And the question is that allowed? I don't know.
Well, so you definitely can show up one time during the World Series, look at your table, and if you don't like it, turn around and leave.
If you're like, hey, Jonathan Little, I don't feel like sitting at your table.
Yeah.
Later, skater.
Full disclosure, I've done this one time. $10,000 six-handed tournament. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. I showed up. It was all good kids.
Quarter of a mile. Continue straight.
All right, I'll take my one time. Thank you.
I think I'll go to the spa, get a massage.
And I didn't register. I thought you could not register. I'm blocking the mirror for Andy.
Merge works. Yeah, there we go.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's within the rules, right? Anytime you're doing anything within the rules, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Do you think there's something wrong with doing things within the rules?
I think rules, especially poker players, they respect rules and they figure out ways to use them and push the rules to their limits and use them to their advantage. So I think figuring out the best thing you can do in a tournament to give yourself the most edge within the rules, all good.
Is that wrong? Or scummy, as you said?
You know, it's funny. There's other things that are within the rules that are viewed as scum, such as stalling, for example. Like one could
Is
stall.
that scummy if it's within the rules?
And it is within the rules. And it is arguably, if you ask most poker players, they wouldn't say that that's a great thing to do.
Well, it's bad for the game, definitively, but it's in your best interest.
The rules, yes.
And it's within the rules. I mean, say you're playing in a spot where everybody has a time bank, right? 30-second shot clock. You're perfectly allowed to burn your shot clock.
Yes and no, actually.
Well, you are. You're definitively allowed to spend your 30 seconds.
You're actually not, though, because I saw this happen in a situation where we were approaching the money bubble, and that's when they started going hand for hand.
They went hand for hand early.
Yeah. And they said, you know what? If you're taking 30 seconds in every time, Matt Savage is going to come over and look at your cards, and if they're... I don't know if he actually looked at the cards, but there were warnings, and it was like, if you're doing 30 seconds on every decision, then that's not okay either.
Matt Savage, I disagree with this ruling. In online poker, you're given your 15 seconds. You're allowed to spend your 15 seconds, and all the good kids do it.
To be fair, it was at a WPT, so I'm assuming Matt Savage had something to do with that. But
Matt Savage, shame on you.
I don't remember Matt Savage specifically making that ruling, but I think it was a WPT, and I think that was the idea, is that you can't just take your 30 seconds every time, even if they give it to you.
Can you use your time banks when you'd like?
Absolutely.
What's the difference?
Well, the difference is you have a limited number of time banks.
You have a limited number of 30-second actions every time you want to act.
Yeah, you're limited to every single time.
How about this? What if you limp pre-flop after 30 seconds?
What if your Waze just turns into a FaceTime? That's not good when we're driving. Okay, back to that. Sorry.
Look, I don't have a problem with doing things within the rules, but I think the rules should be designed to where nothing crappy happens.
Hi guys.
Oh, FaceTime with the family.
I am driving right now, so we have to stop FaceTiming, okay?
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Oh, your family loves you.
They do.
My family doesn't FaceTime me.
But they would probably love me not to FaceTime with them while I'm driving for the reason that they love me.
The video's okay, though. You're not looking at it, to
I'm
be
not
fair.
producing it.
I think the rules should be designed better. Like, for example, 15-second time bank pre-flop. Or something like that. The problem is that's hard to implement. Technology is not good enough yet. It may be good. It may be good enough.
I've always been I'm as much as the shot clock has its pluses and minuses. I actually think the solution that no one's ever tried, at least in the United States, they actually did this in Montreal, which I think makes a lot of sense, is empowering the dealers.
Oh, sure.
To count the clock. When you call for 30 seconds, they make a decision right there. Has he had enough time? Yes. And then they just look at the clock and they make the call. They make plenty of other calls. Why shouldn't this be in the range of things that they can decide on?
I like that idea.
It's just because people don't want to call the clock because it takes forever for the floor to get over. Next thing, it takes a minute to 2 minutes just to start the clock. Empower the dealer to do it. Then they'll do it. People will call clock more.
So we're going to a charity tournament. And you are perhaps the best charity tournament player besides Dan Shack.
I think there are, in the New York charity circuit, there are guys who you'd never hear of in the professional poker world, but I know them, and they are much better and more accomplished on the charity poker scene than me.
I know 3. We have you, Dan Shack, and the Justin Lapone, the 3 best charity tournament players in New York City. And I have one of them in the car. So what's the secret?
I would say
beating the charity tournament
I'm going to give a
players?
shout out to my boy Mike Sabat. Okay?
Mike Sabat, there you go.
He just always final tables, and this is a guy who, when you learn poker like I did in the New York City charity poker scene, chip leader has like 9 bigs, and like average stack might be 2 or 3, and this is a guy who can bet fold with like 3 bigs behind, and we're all laughing at that, but he gets there.
You were in that charity tournament the other day,
Did I?
a few months ago, where I was the MC, and Mike Sabat was there with like 2 big blinds. I think he had like King 10 and just folded for like 2 big blinds.
He won that one?
No, he busted.
Right, but he made it deep. He made it deep, right.
Survival is actually very important in tournaments.
Important.
And Phil Hellmuth is a master of this, of all people. He will do seemingly ridiculous things where he raises and then fold, because I know I'm in bad shape. And then he has his 8 big blinds, and inevitably, sometimes he wins, sometimes he doesn't. He gives himself a shot, though. And King 10 is not in very good shape.
I think if you tried to place that more toward my rear view mirror, my side mirror. Okay, there we go. Perfect. The other thing about super short...
my right arm is very strong here.
Charity events is that, like, a lot of times we learn, like, you get super short, like, below 10 bigs, like, you have to get it in. Well, that doesn't apply to tournaments where everyone is less than 10 bigs. And that's kind of the thing about charity tournaments, is like, it's one thing if your average stack is 30, 40 bigs, then you're like, okay, at some point you need to chip up, and so you don't have time to sit around. But when other people are going to be busting left and right, and every orbit you're losing 20% of the field, an argument can be made for actually really tightening up.
Well,
something I know you're not a huge fan of.
No, I'm just trying to think. I don't think it matters all that much. It matters some. It definitely matters some, because if you have like 10 big blinds, everybody else has 40.
Right.
You obviously have to get to work.
Got to get there.
Right? And with 10, kind of everybody has to get to work. But the problem is in charity tournaments, quite often the prizes are very top-heavy, right?
It depends on the prize ICM, yeah.
And sometimes in charity tournaments,
structure the prize, the best prize could be 5th place, and you might want to bust that. I actually did that the other day for some Yankees tickets. It was Broadway bets, and it was like 5th place was 4 Yankees tickets where you get to go into the announcer's booth as well.
Shout out to Broadway Bets. Invite me next time, please. So you busted in 5th on purpose?
Awesome event. I got it in with the 3-9 against Ace X, and I spiked a 3. I was like, no! And so we're all sitting there at the final table, and they're all cheering for the person who's on with an ace. They're all going, ace, ace, ace. And I joined in, and I'm going, ace, ace, ace. And sure enough, ace on the river. And now I've got these 4 Yankees tickets, including a trip to the announcer's booth.
Great.
Yeah. Because
congratulations.
First prize was like, 4 nights at Caesars in Vegas, and nothing against Caesars, but that's not quite as exciting to me as 4 Yankees tickets.
I personally like it when they let you draft the prizes.
Right.
But the problem with that is everybody has to stick around to the end.
And then exactly, settlement risk.
I think if they make them draft it via email, is probably ideal. So everybody knows you're going to bust when you bust, and then we're going to draft this over email. It's going to take a week, whatever, and then you get what you get. I think that's the right way to go about doing it, which is a little bit anticlimactic because you don't get to take anything home.
Yeah, people like to... Yeah.
They like their prize, right? But then you get what you want. Like, first place gets their Yankee tickets if that's what they want.
Right.
And then You don't have to do anything silly. But anyway, in charity tournaments, normally, first place will be a lot, like $10,000 seat to the main event or something like that.
Or has this ever happened to you? You donate a lesson, and somehow that lesson becomes like first prize, and the person who wins is like, I don't really want a poker lesson.
No, they always want my prize.
No,
everybody wants coaching from Jonathan
tell you,
Little.
but sometimes they may or may not. I don't know. Maybe.
I've had a lot of great lunch coaching lessons from people. It's been fantastic. I know they probably don't go to yours, but they come to mine.
They go to mine. I'm just saying it's possible that they would have preferred the second prize. So
just give them like $500 so you don't have to go to lunch.
I enjoy it.
Okay, fine.
I enjoy
fine.
teaching.
But back to what I was trying to say.
I digress.
Here. First place is often a lot, like $10,000 cash for a main event seat. In some charity tournaments or whatever. And
Big,
the second,
big
third,
old
fourth
charity
place.
tournaments, yeah.
Tonight, first place is 10K. I think. Is it 10K? No, it's not 10K. No, it's not.
So.
It's not. Could be, but it's not. Anyway, if first place is a lot and second, third, fourth place are
less than a lot,
a $500 thing, then it becomes a winner-take-all event. In which case, having 10 big blinds, inevitably, towards the end, where everybody else has 50 or 80, isn't going to do you a whole lot of good.
And then keep left.
So, it becomes winner-take-all. And winner-take-all, you do have to get to work relatively early. It's very different if you can sneak into the money and get something of value for getting in the money.
And then
I really struggle with this one, Jonathan. The reason why you and I are here hanging out right now is because once upon a time, I won an event where it was for all a broker through an event for all the derivatives traders on Wall Street, and it was a very charity fast structure. And sure enough, I was at the final table, and I was being quite patient to the point where I was all in the big blind, which is not a strategy I would recommend. That said, I was all in for the big blind, and I held. It was nice that the big blind, I actually looked down at pocket kings. We got there, ended up winning that. But the point is,
sometimes you win.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and I'm just not sure when everyone is super short whether it makes sense to tighten up and let them bust first, or I'm not sure there is a clear answer.
Well, what if second and lower is essentially $0 to you?
Yeah,
and
in this
first
case, second was a plasma TV, not an LCD back then, but a plasma.
That was worth
TV.
like $100,000.
I was actually thinking maybe I should take the plasma, instead of the first. But then my boss was like, "No, you got to go. It's the main event." And so I went to the main event, and I said, "Wow, this is kind of fun. I think maybe I'll try this again sometime."
Have you ever cashed the main event?
I did cash the main event last year because I was sick of people in New York saying, "Oh, you have two bracelets. How'd you do in the main?"
Yeah,
and so
that's always the question.
How'd you do in the main? And then when you say you haven't cashed, then they tell you how. Oh, well, I've actually done it. So
I've taken 14th
last
place.
year. I decided I was gonna cash,
and you did it.
And I did.
So what's the secret to cashing?
Getting good cards, of course.
Yeah. One time I tried the hang out and try to get good cards strategy, and I was so patient.
That's not your style.
No, it's not. I was so patient. I made it the top 25% of the field playing no cards, and then I busted. I'm like, man, what am I doing with my life? I remember the first 3 years I played the main event, I bluffed off my whole stack in the first few levels.
That sounds more like your style.
Yeah. Every year they showed me a full house. I'm like, oh, I see. Not gonna make you fold that one. But then I got to thinking about man, their range is only full houses here, I think. So if the range is only full houses, clearly my bluff was
full houses and up.
Yeah. Do you have any parting words? Because I think we're almost there.
Yeah. Let's use tonight as a test, okay? I'll knit it up and wait for really big hands, and you go insane with. Well, actually, you just play like you always play.
I'll play normal.
Yeah.
I'll go play the cash game, light a bunch of money on fire.
That's the other thing is there's definitely value in busting early because then you get in the cash game.
I lose way more money from the cash game.
It's good, but then
last time we played a cash game together,
you get an invite to the next one for sure.
I didn't even get invited back. I lit money on fire, didn't even get invited back.
That's wrong.
It is wrong. It's brutal, man.
Oh, we're here.
All right, we're here. Goodbye.
Later, guys.